So welcome everybody to this latest video on 162 Maths, and in this video we're continuing by going through some topic tests on the AQA GCSE Maths Foundation syllabus with a focus on equations. Now as always there'll be a copy of the test paper for you to download and click on the link in the description below, and I strongly recommend that you do this either before watch this video or while watch this video as we go through the answers. Now it's worth mentioning before we get started that equations can and probably most likely will appear on both papers of both non-calculator and calculator GCSE exam papers. So it's worth making sure that even though you may have covered one form of it or already faced an equations question, it could easily come up in another paper in another form. So let's get started with these questions. Now these questions could, again, there's no indication whether they're calculator or calculator, so we'll just assume that it is non-calculator. So looking at question 1, it says solve x over 10 equals 5. So again, when you're solving equations, your final answer should always be the letter equals a number, and that number should be written as a whole number, or if that's going to be quite difficult, leave it as a fraction. So looking at this, we want to try and get x by itself. So on the same side as x, we're going to need to get rid of this 10. What's the 10 doing? It's dividing. So to get rid of it, we need to do the opposite, which is multiplying by 10. So x equals 5 times 10, which is 50. Then with question 1b, it says solve 2y minus 9 equals 18. So we want to take away the 9, so we add the 9 and get rid of the minus 9. And so here we've got 2y equals 27. And then we've got y equals 27 over 2. So it's half of 27, which is 13.5. Now, if you wanted to, you could leave it as a fraction if you're not too great with your division. But again, either of those two answers would be absolutely fine. Then moving on to a double-sided equation, again here what you want to do is you want to get rid of the smallest amount of x's from both sides, and here our smallest amount of x is minus 6w. So here we're going to add 6w to both sides. So what we end up is with 10w plus 3 on the left hand side and 20 on the other. So then we take away the 3, so we end up with 10w equals 17. So w equals 17 over 10. Which is 1.7. And again, you can either leave your answer as 17 over 10 or as 1.7. Moving on to question 2, it says that a shop gives reward points based on the money in pounds spent by a customer. It uses the formula of the reward points equals 2 times the money spent plus bonuses. The bonus is worked out by using the following table. Amy spends £34, work out her reward points, and it's worth 2 marks. So for this, she spends £34. Then her reward points are going to be 2 lots of 34 plus, now if she spent £34, she's going to fall into this category, so we need to add 10. 2 times 34 is 68, so it's 68 plus 10, which is 78. Then for question 2b, it says Bob was given 220 reward points. How much to the nearest pound did he spend? So for this, let's just zoom out so we can see the table back in there. Hope that it doesn't reset, which I knew that was going to happen. So here, so for this is getting 220 reward points. So we've got 220 equals, and it's going to be 2 lots the money spent, which is what we're looking for, plus the bonus points. Now from this, we can't spend more than 100, because if we double 100, we get 200. And if he spent more than 200, he's going to get 25 bonus points, which comes up as 225. So that means that he must have spent somewhere between 50 and £100. Now, for that to happen, we're looking at 2 times, and it's going to be 100 plus, then we've got the bonus points, which is 20. So the amount that he's spent is going to be £100. Moving on to question 3, and let me just zoom in a little bit so we can see that better. It says that an expression for the nth term of a sequence is n squared plus 2. Write down the first 3 terms of the sequence. So the first term is when n equals 1. So when n equals 1, we've got 1 squared plus 2, which is 3. Second term is when n equals 2. So we end up with 2 squared plus 2, which is 6. And then the third term is when n equals 3. We've got 3 squared plus 2, which equals 11. So our first 3 terms are 3, 6, and 11. Then moving on to question 4, it says that Liam and Kyle shared their energy bills equally. Their electricity bill was X pounds and their gas bill was £24 more than their electricity bill. They each paid £59. Work out the total cost of the electricity bill and the cost of their gas bill. So again, what we need to do is their electricity bill is going to be X pounds and their gas bill is going to be X plus 24. Now, if they're both paying £59, that means that the total bill is going to be, so the total bill is going to be £118 because they're each paying £59. So what we've got is we've got X plus 24 equals 118. So if we just simplify that, we get 2x plus 24 equals 118, and we solve this equation. So we take away 24, we end up with 2x equals, and then 118 take away 24 gives me an answer of £94. And so x equals 94 divided by 2, which gives me £47. So that means electricity is going to be £47 and the gas bill is going to be £24 more. So if I add 24 to that, I get £71. Then moving on to question 5, it says to solve this equation. So again, what we need to do is get rid of the fraction. So we want to get rid of this by timesing by 5. So if we take the 5 over, now remember we need to multiply everything on the right hand side by 5. That becomes 5 times 2x, which is 10x, and 5 times 4, which is minus 20. And then from this, what we then got to do is take the 6x over to the other side. So we end up with 7 equals 4x minus 20. And then 27 equals 4x. So then x equals 27 divided by 4. And I personally would leave it as a fraction. Or if you really want to, you can write it as a decimal by dividing by 2 twice, in which we get 6.75. Any of those two answers would be absolutely